What is going on? Hello and welcome to episode 92 of Bearded Banter, the gaming podcast where there are three inevitabilities in life. Death, taxes, and Bearded Banter going on hiatus. But guess what? We're back again, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Enough of that. I am your host, Shane, the Bearded One. With me, as always, is the regular squad, my co-hosts, Matt and Ryan. How we doing today, boys?
Doing all right.
Very good. Doing good.
How we doing on this fine Sunday evening?
Yeah, doing pretty good. You know, definitely different time than we usually do this, but...
Yeah, so there's a reason for that. So, obviously, if you've been to streams, you know why. But the last couple months have been very tumultuous for me personally, let's say, at the very least. There was some personal shit going on in my life that I was dealing with, as well as starting a new job on top of that, so I was just all over the place, which is why I put everything on hiatus, just to let everything calm down first, and then once things were back in order, we would get back to the swing of things, and we are finally here to do that. So we are back on a bi-weekly basis, regular schedule, but we're recording this at a different time, so it's going to come out on Mondays now instead of Fridays.
Hopefully it stays on bi-weekly basis. Let's hope so.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But
We always say that, and it lasts like that for 2 months, and then disappears into the ether for God knows how long, and then we come back and be like, this is it, baby, we're finally doing it, and then a month later we're back on hiatus.
And then I fucking die.
Oh, jeez.
But we're here. Welcome to Bearded Banter. We have a wonderful show for you today. Of course, we have our general discussion where we talk about what we've been playing lately, wrap that up with our general discussion question of the week before we go right into the news. And the news, it seems more packed than it actually is, but it's mostly been dominated by like a couple big stories. So we're going to blitz through those pretty quickly. But an old friend is coming back. Let me just put it that way.
Oh boy.
The old friend known as, does it rhyme with Bactivision Izzard?
Yes. Ironically, it does, Matt. How did you know?
I don't know. It's just a hunch. It
just came to me in a dream.
Yeah.
But with that said, let's get right into things, starting with general discussion. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Alrighty.
For what I've been playing lately, it's pretty much all been Final Fantasy 16, baby, the past few weeks.
Nice.
Since that game came out, I've been spending a ton of time on that. Really like the game. Not as much as 7 Remake, but do really, really enjoy it. I'm actually going to be making a video about Final Fantasy. I want to get that out by the end of the week. But I've been thinking 16 is a lot of fun. When that's done, I'm probably going to get back to Tears of the Kingdom, because I put that on hold to start 16. Or I'm going to play Rain Code, because that came out.
That did come out.
I heard very good things about that. Heard very good things.
Danganronpa vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Danganronpa guy,
So the story's going to be just insane.
Yes. It's going to be the most batshit thing you've ever seen, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy 16? I'm interested to hear, because I've been hearing surprisingly divisive things.
Mostly story-based stuff, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's mostly on whether people think it's a Final Fantasy game or not, because the gameplay style is incredibly different from what it was before in the other Final Fantasies. Like, it's basically Devil May Cry. It's like, and the RPG mechanics are also very, like, thin and not that deep compared to other games in the series, which admittedly is kind of disappointing to me, who loves deeper RPG mechanics.
Me as well, yeah.
It's very moment-to-moment gameplay is very fun. I do have a number of kind of issues with it that, like, it's like the game has some very good high points, amazing high points, but its lows can be very noticeable.
We love those kinds of games.
You know what? I respect it, because that means they're taking a massive swing, and you love to see it.
Yeah, some of it works, some of it doesn't. Ultimately, do like the game. I do think it is a lot of fun, especially in the moment-to-moment gameplay. But I do, like I said, I do definitely prefer 7 Remake. I do think that is the better game comparing the two. But I am interested to see where Final Fantasy goes from here, if it'll stick with 16, if it'll do a completely different style. That's actually part of the discussion in the video that I'm gonna make.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I am like I said, do like it. I won't do a whole review of it here.
Right. Yeah.
But some good, some bad. Ultimately, still a very enjoyable experience that I do think is worth picking up, whether
Mhm.
you have a PS5 or if you wait for the PC version
Yeah.
next year.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, I'm curious because I'm excited for the game, but I'm also very nervous. Mainly because it has that M rating attached to it.
Yes.
And as somebody who is fucking sick of the Game of Thronesification of fantasy over the past couple of years, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think it actually handles that well, or is it just does it feel too gimmicky?
I think it's good. I think it handles it pretty well. It's not too bad.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it's not
That was
too. Oh, sorry.
And that was my worry. I thought it wasn't going to feel too not Final Fantasy esque because like Final
No,
Fantasy is a tone, and that's very Game of Thrones is not Final Fantasy at all.
no. Yeah, there is definitely uh some mix of the darker fantasy, but and I wish it was a little bit more like the traditional Final Fantasy, but it's not it at all.
Okay,
Like you
all right.
still kind of get the vibes. Wish it was a little more, but it's not egregious.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my
Um.
worry.
Going off of what you said, whether or not they'll stick to this style or completely change it up next time, it feels like
Yeah.
they've been going in this direction for the last over 10, like the last decade plus. Like this started
Mhm.
with 13. They started to,
That started with 12, honestly.
Start
yeah,
with
yeah,
12. Do a completely different style every single
Yeah,
game pretty
yeah.
yeah.
much.
They started to experiment with the more like real time action gameplay style,
Mhm.
and it just progressively got more and more like that as it went on.
I feel
Yeah,
I feel like what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that I think 17 is going to feel a lot different. I think it's probably going to feel a lot
yeah,
different. 16 purposely went back. They purposely scaled back to a fantasy setting because they felt they were going too futuristic. So I think that they're going to stay
yeah,
fantasy s for the next couple ones. Maybe they're going to go and continue with this style, and then down the line, maybe like Final Fantasy 19 or Final Fantasy 20. Who knows?
20.
They'll
Yeah,
go. Maybe we'll get like a more cyberpunk Final Fantasy again, but it'll be like turn based
yeah.
or something like that. It's
I
just gonna continue doing whatever I think they think the game would work best for that particular game. I think.
yeah, I think what would really do the series good is if it's stuck to just a particular gameplay style. Again, the video that I
Mhm.
wanna make, I need to get around to putting all that together, but if you look at all the games past 10-2, it's gone MMO, real time, turn-based, MMO, action, refined action from that previous game, and then Devil May Cry, and then going back to the previous refined action
So
again.
meaning the next one is Bayonetta. Is what I'm trying to say.
Hell yeah, I'm down for it.
A Bayonetta Final Fantasy. I'd play that.
I'd play the shit out of that. Are you kidding me?
I'd play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Matt, what have you been playing lately?
Well, thank God for backlogged.
Right? Oh, dude, I
Because
use
forget
God, what
I
do I
play.
use? I use
play. Okay.
I use GG for mine.
Yeah, I use
Uh,
backlogged. But thank God for backlogged. But I have okay, so I haven't been playing a whole lot new because I've been really busy with not just job hunting, but other stuff in general, just with my own personal projects and stuff.
yeah.
So, but I did play, but in between the last podcast and now, I did play one new game, and that was The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Oh,
Hmm.
the mid case of Benedict Fox,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I was really looking forward to this. I thought when I first
Oh.
saw I think when did the trailer first drop? Was at like the Game Awards.
It was
ish.
last E3. It was the Xbox show
Yeah,
last year.
it was like last like it was at the Xbox show last year. We first got like gameplay footage of it, and I thought it looked really cool. It had this really interesting like Lovecraftian art style. It was a Metroidvania, and I was like, okay, this seems really cool, and I like the pitch that they had for it, which was a Metroidvania that was also kind of a puzzle game that you had to
Mhm.
like kind of like actually you have to like solve ciphers and shit and actually know your shit in order to get through like doors and stuff, which is really cool. And so I played the game, and it's a big old disappointment. Which kind of blew. It's like there are two games in the last case of Benedict Fox: the really good one and the really bad one, and they're both in the same game.
Yeah,
the good stuff is really good. I like the puzzle stuff. The cipher stuff is great. I love the fact that in order to open doors, you don't get abilities. You actually have to solve like equations and shit and ciphers and stuff. And you can get clues throughout the level, but ultimately it's just that, are you smart enough to get through this fucking door? Are you clever enough? And the puzzles they're actually really well designed and really thought out. They're not stupid. You can eat, and if you're going through the game at your own pace, you will figure them out naturally, which I like. The art style is gorgeous. I love the Cthulhu vibes. I love all of that stuff. I think that the purples really, really stand out. I think it looks like the actual look of the game is really cool because it has like this almost blocky texture to the characters that make it look really old school. Like it almost looks like a 3D version of some of the Monkey Island style of character designs.
Yeah,
within like a Lovecraft setting, and that's really cool. So there's a lot of point and click stuff in the game too, which I really like. The problem is that it's also like really clunky to actually play. To go from one location to the next is a chore because you're constantly fighting the controls. Combat is piss.
Oh god, combat.
There's a lot of it too. There's a lot more than you think it is, but combat is piss. Like dodging doesn't work correctly. You attack too quickly, and the enemies will literally dogpile you because you have no invincibility frames. So when you get hit, they can actually stun lock you and like kill you immediately if they all get in on you.
And also, the game there's no there's no like sense of weight to any of the attacks. It just feels like you're hitting like sponges.
Yeah, it feels like you're hitting. Yeah, they're all sponges, and there's like very little enemy types too, which doesn't help. The big problem I had with the combat is the fact that because they have all of this clunk and all of like it's designed as a Metroidvania with Dark Souls style combat. Because it wants you to actually like fucking like take your time fighting these fucking things. Because if you die, you lose all your ink.
So it's like blasphemous.
It's like blasphemous if Blasphemous's combat was shit.
If Blasphemous was bad.
If Blasphemous's combat was shit. And that really sucks too. Because I like the art style and actually like the puzzle stuff. I wish this game honestly had like no combat. And it was just you solving these like ciphers and exploring at your own pace. That would be really cool. Wouldn't really fix a lot of the issues I have with the actual story of this thing, because the story is kind of a mess and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense and leaves a lot of stuff. It's trying to do the thing a lot of games do nowadays because Dark Souls did it. A lot of it's all vague. It's all like, oh, it's all in the margins and it's all there. But the reason it works with Dark Souls is because no one actually gives a shit about the lore of Dark Souls. Is that it's all it's there. No, literally, it's there as flavor text. It's there literally to just give kind of like, oh, this sword you picked up is like 1,000 years old and belonged to whoever. Like it's all just there to like kind of make everything seem mythic. Here they're doing that for like your parents, their character's parents, and it's like, okay, well, like that doesn't work because I should actually have an emotional attachment to these fucking characters if they're my parents and they're dead. So I'm not. So like, I don't. So like, it doesn't really work in that regard. And it kind of sucks that the game ended up being kind of a mess at launch too, because the game wasn't also working correctly. There was a lot. I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any issues with it, but I heard a lot of people had stuttering problems and a lot of like graphical glitches, and it was not working. Yeah. So like I didn't have any when I was playing it. I didn't have any issues, but like I know a lot of people did. So it just sucks because I love good Metroidvanias. I'm really looking forward to this one, and it just kind of dropped the ball, unfortunately.
So you almost wish it was more like Lovecraft Ace Attorney or something.
Not just Lovecraft Ace Attorney, more like Lovecraft like more so like Lovecraft something like
Point and click adventure.
It's kind of point and click of like Tales of Monkey Island type thing, like also like Grim Fandango or something like that. Which I love those games. I love those old LucasArts point and click games a lot. Those are like some of my favorites. So I would love this. I think it would have really shined if they had done that. It looks really pretty. I'm wondering. I'm hoping the studio that does this does something again, because it is a really pretty game. They clearly put a lot of work into this. So I do think that if they make, I hope they do make another game and actually like improve on a lot of the stuff that they maybe built here. Maybe do like a just straight up puzzle game like Talos Principle or something like that, which I really love. I think Talos Principle is a phenomenal game. So hopefully, something like that. I also replayed a lot of old Mario stuff too. So, but
that's crazy, dude. That's insane that you
don't need to know my opinions on that, because it's Mario.
I mean, for context, Mario 3 is his favorite game of all time. So,
yeah. Oh, really?
I love Mario. It goes back. I talked because I replayed a lot of the old Mario games. Mario 3 and Mario World are the big ones that I went back to. I know a lot of people prefer Mario World, and I think if I had to put a gun to my head, I'd probably say it's probably the better game. But like Mario 3 is such like when you actually look at the shit that they did on like the NES hardware and like the jump from like 2 to 3, it's like actually insane. Like it's actually one of like the most insane gaming jumps I've ever seen. Like what they were actual fucking wizards. Like that's what they were.
They were on fucking crack, dude.
Crack cocaine is what they were on. And also it has the Tanuki suit. That's iconic.
I can't wait for Wonder.
Oh my god,
dude, it looks so good.
It's gonna fucking rip.
Made me go back to play them because I was like, shit, 2D Mario, new 2D Mario, because I love 2D Mario so much. And I saw the trailer for it, I was like, hell yeah. What?
Yeah,
it's gonna fucking slap, dude.
It looks so good. I love I like how trippy it looks. It looks so fucking weird.
Yeah,
it looks so bonkers. I love that.
I love the fact that a new 2D Mario and a new 2D Sonic are coming out in the same week.
Like we are good.
We are so fucking back, bro.
The 90s are so back.
We are so fucking back.
And they both look good.
They both look really good too, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of what I've been playing, I made a couple of big gaming purchases the last couple months because, you know, when you work full time, you make money, and with money comes
Shane has gone
spending money. So
Shane has gone sicko mode.
First thing I got was this little thing called the Nintendo Switch OLED. I got
it's the Scarlet Violet edition.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know, that's funny because last time since we did this,
you got one too. Yeah,
it was the Tears of the Kingdom one.
You got the Zelda one, yeah.
You have finally got on my level. I have an OLED Switch, so that's the one I got. I don't have it on me right now. My girlfriend has it. It's in Ohio, so she's been using it. She wanted to play Scarlet and Violet, so.
Maybe ask me. I can go pick it up from her and go get it.
Yeah, you could just go down the street because everyone in Ohio lives in the same city block.
Yeah, the Scarlet.
Ohio is actually like it's actually not a huge state. It's actually like 1 kilometer long strip of land in the middle of
Island.
like Texas, in the middle of Rhode Island. Texas. Rhode Island's funnier.
Rhode Island is way funnier.
But yeah, your Scarlet and Violet, that does look so good. The Tears of the Kingdom one looks the gold.
So the reason I picked the Scarlet Violet one is not because I'm a Pokemon fan. I'm not.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked the coolest. That was 100%. It was the cool factor alone. I thought it looked the best out of all of them.
Their Pokemon consoles always look great.
Yeah, it really is incredible to me, and I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around it. How such little things can make such a big difference. Like a slightly bigger screen and an OLED panel can make playing games a million times better.
Oh,
right?
Dude. I originally was not planning to get an OLED because I was mostly just either waiting for a Pro or the Switch 2. Because the Switch 2 is probably just going to be the OLED with more powerful internals, most likely. And and I was gonna wait for that, but I was like, I got spare income. Zelda systems usually go for a ton of money later on. I might as well pick up the Tears of the Kingdom special edition. It looks so good, that
It looks
OLED
amazing.
screen.
Oh
The
yeah.
OLED quality, it looks stellar.
It
I'm always impressed by it. Yeah.
It's crazy how it's literally the same system on the inside, and no games run any better than they used to. But that OLED screen alone makes the experience of playing them so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The stand too is so much
Oh
nicer
my
on the
fucking god!
OLED.
I'm gonna come, dude. I'm gonna blow my load if I can even get this open. It is a little bit of a hassle to get open.
Yeah, you gotta open it from the middle. Don't open it from
That's
the
what I'm
vents
doing.
because
I know because you
Yeah,
take the
yeah.
mesh off the speakers.
They tell you to open it from the bottom. They lie. They're lying. They lie.
They are flat out lying to you. I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I don't. Damn, I can't get it. I can't
Yeah, you
get
want
the
to
lip.
open it from like the little divot that's in the center of the bottom of it.
It's easier said than done. I will say that's.
Yeah.
It's a little annoying.
This is supposed to be a console for children too.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You gotta get your fingernail under there.
Yeah. But in terms of what I've been playing on this thing, two main games come to mind. The first of which is Mega Man Battle Network. Because I got this.
Yes.
I got this for my birthday. Thank you, Bones.
Aw.
Are you playing the first game right now?
Never played Battle Network before.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't either, but I do own it.
This is a blind playthrough first time. I'm starting obviously with Battle Network 1. I really enjoy this. It's really impressive how they took the standard Mega Man formula and transitioned it into this weird grid-based strategy game. And I was worried I wouldn't like it just because even though I've been, slowly coming around on strategy games, I was worried that the change in gameplay style would throw me off or turn me off or whatever. It's weird how they do it because it's a lot more real time than a Fire Emblem type thing. Because you're actively
real time.
You're actively moving around the board. You're using chips. The chip system is very in depth. It's a little confusing at first because there's so many rules behind it. But once you wrap your head around it, it's really intuitive the way they do it and how they limit you so you can have more focused builds in battles. I really like that. And just the fact that it's real time, you can actively move anywhere on the board. You can use the Mega Buster for standard attacks. And the fact that there's still Mega Man stuff in it, certain enemies have certain weaknesses to certain abilities. It's just a really cool take on Mega Man. And it's so weird. When did this game come out? What year?
It had to be early GBA when the first one came out. I think it might have been, was it 2001?
I'm gonna guess 2002.
Mega Man Battle Network 1.
It was it was in the 2000s.
March 2001. Yeah.
2001. It's crazy to me how this game is all about cyber terrorism.
Yeah.
This game was in retrospect ahead of its time because
it had to be early on because they made 6 freaking games for this.
Yeah, they made 6 of them. And this thing has 10 games on it because the later ones have 2 different versions.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's like Pokemon, although there are some plot differences between the two of them, kinda ish. So
it's pretty good. You got the physical version of that too for Switch because that's actually kind of hard to find.
I know it's sold out a lot of the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's selling like crazy. Well, it sold 1 million copies in 2 weeks, which is really good.
Yeah, I really love the Battle Network games a lot. I mean, I'm a big Mega Man guy in general, but I love the Battle Network games. I think it's really interesting too because there are 6 of the main games. There are 6 stories, and it's really awesome. We don't get this a lot nowadays. Of seeing a game series go on for 6 entries with the same cast and the same ongoing story for 6 fucking games. Trust me, when you get to the end of 6, you will be really emotionally invested in what happens. Trust me.
Yeah.
You will.
One of only. I was gonna say one of only 2 Mega Man branches to actually get a proper conclusion. It's just this and 0.
It's just this and Zero. I want my Mega Man. I'm just still so mad about like I'm still so mad that they canceled
Legends 3.
with Legends 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
Hopefully,
like that would have been great.
yeah. Hopefully, he can come back because Mega Man is in a much better place now than he
Oh,
used
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Hey,
And Legends 3
Capcom.
was designed to be Legends was always designed to be a trilogy anyway. So like just
Yeah.
give it
Mhm.
give it its finale and give it the ending it needs and deserves.
Hey, Capcom,
Yeah.
make more Mega Man games. This is a
You
threat.
have no, it will be free money. Trust me, Capcom.
Yeah, God,
It's free money.
I feel so bad for Mega Man Legends fans because it's like it's not even like someone like me who's like a Golden Sun fan who's waiting for like Golden Sun 4, but it's just like you're kind of just vaguely hoping for something. You had Legends 3. There is footage of the game that should have
It was
existed.
being made. It was developed. It was in development. It was being made. Y'all canceled it because you're stupid. That's what
And
it
it just
is.
got
It
because
got
there wasn't enough fan interest in it, according to
Bullshit,
Look, it's
Capcom.
Mega Man. Now there's fan interest because guess what?
Yeah.
Mega Man is selling on because they're releasing these legacy collections, and now Mega Man is like in a good spot now.
Yeah.
You know what? But what we really need is a new Mega Man X game. Is that
Oh,
Make
dude,
X9 for the love of
X9,
God.
X9,
I
X9,
want-
yes, let's please.
12 or X9 for the next game, please.
Please.
I want that.
Please.
I would rather X9. I'm kind of sick of the mainline Mega Man games. I would be disappointed if it was 12. I'll still play day one, but like,
oh yeah, I would prefer X9, but I am not gonna complain if it's 12.
I would
because
say, I'm still gonna play it. So what am I?
I mean, 11's really good, so I wouldn't
11
complain.
is really good. 11's
Or
like one of
hell-
the best of the original series, anyways. So.
Oh yeah, or hell, they at this point they might even make Battle Network 7 because of how good the collection sold.
This thing's
Maybe
fucking selling
they
like
could do-
hotcakes, dude.
Or they'll do Star Force Legacy Collection, which is
Ooh, yes, please.
Yeah, I think especially with how good Battle Network sold, they'll probably just do Star Force and Legends just to have
Star Force
everything.
does continue the chronology of Battle
It
Network
does.
anyways. So if they do another Battle Network game, I would rather them either do Star Force 4 or a brand new series set from after Star Force and like a third series.
There were plans for Star Force 4. They did have like a general
Star Force 3
synopsis.
sold like piss, so that's why.
Yeah.
I think that's why Mega Man Legends 3 didn't happen because I remember a time like in the late 2000s or early 2010s there was like a Mega Man like overabundance. Like there was just way too much Mega Man and I think people were just sick of it. But now there's been a big drought. There's not many new Mega Man games coming out. Now it's the perfect time to have like Legends 3 or like Mega Man X9 or whatever. Like we haven't had a new one outside of 11.
They were just putting out so much at once that it kind of had the oversaturation problem where it was way too much to keep up with, but now there's so much less.
And it didn't help that Star Force had like 3 versions per game. So like they were released in like they were really pushing Star Force hard. They were
I know a buddy of mine really wants to see Operation Shooting Star get localized in one of these collections.
That is never happening. That is never happening.
If you don't know what that is, Shane, that's like a remake of Battle Network 1 on the DS that
Oh yeah, I know about this.
Star Force.
I know about this.
Okay.
Yeah, that is never happening. It's not coming out. I've lost. Look, if we can't get Ace Attorney Investigations 2, there's no way in fucking hell that we're getting Operation Shooting Star.
Where is that? That's the only Ace Attorney game we still don't have.
It's in the ether. It's gone.
It's in the void.
It's in the. It got sent to the Shadow Realm.
It really did.
But
the other main game I've been playing on my Switch OLED is Sonic Origins Plus.
I need to pick that
Sonic. so
it's a Sonic game.
So
okay.
I got the physical copy. No, go ahead. What were you gonna ask?
I was just gonna say, is it really that bad? Because I hear people complaining about this a lot, and it's like, oh, that face, that face.
So, I'm not one of the people who thinks that Origins is as bad as everyone claims it to be. I frankly think, despite a few issues, it is the definitive way to play these games on modern hardware. Like, there's no better way you can play specifically Sonic 1 and 2. Those things are perfect on this. It's unfortunate about the music in 3 and Knuckles, and I cry every time. But
dude, with that, I have no idea why they didn't just use like the prototype music.
I don't get it either.
Have you heard like prototype Ice Cap Zone? It's like better than the one they used in the original game.
Good.
I'm not even huge on the music they actually picked in the actual game, to be honest. But like that prototype music is amazing. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. But yeah, despite some obvious flaws, it can't be a Sonic game if it doesn't have some flaws. This is pretty much the best way you can play these games now. That being said, Origins Plus is interesting because it's a $10 DLC, at least for you, Ryan. It's $13 over here. And the main draw of it is playable Amy. And I will say, Amy fucking rules in these games. She's basically a modified Sonic with a better insta-shield because she has her hammer attack. And her drop dash, when she hits the ground, she swings her hammer for a few seconds. So if there's like a line of enemies on the ground and you drop dash, you just kind of run through them and kill them all. It's really cool.
She melts bosses. That's the big thing.
She destroys, obliterates, fucking Exodia, obliterate. And
she rips through them.
Yeah, and she's kind of a weird mix between Sonic and Knuckles because her hammer spin is basically an insta shield, but she can use her hammer to break through walls like Knuckles can. So she's like this weird mishmash of like a couple different characters. And I really love her aesthetic. I know Matt's not big on classic Amy design, but I think she looks really good in these games. But that's the thing. That's basically it. Like, yeah, there's the Game Gear games, but fucking take it from me, no one gives a shit about the Game Gear games. I spent months of my life playing these games earlier this year. No one fucking cares.
They're all bad.
Three of them are good.
Don't you want to play Sonic Blast, Shane? It's so good.
No!
Shane... No, Shane, Sonic Blast wasn't even one of the good ones either.
No, it was one of the worst ones.
It's garbage.
Yeah. No one cares about these fucking games. And cool, Knuckles is playable in Sonic CD. He should have been playable to begin with.
Yes, I was gonna say when we found out that wasn't. Yeah, why wasn't that in? When I found out that's not in base game, and you need to pay extra for Origins to get that. Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
It's Sega being greedy. That's what that is.
And also the new release model is all fucked up too because they didn't delist OG Origins. It's still up for purchase. It's just discounted now. But it's so weird because you can buy vanilla Origins for a discounted price, or you can buy Origins Plus, which is the same game with the new content for the same price as the base game was a year ago. But then you can also buy the $10 DLC for the original version if you bought it originally. It's just a fucking mess. I don't get it. I don't understand why they didn't just put the DLC up for people who owned it before and just delist the original, because no one in this day and age, the year of our Lord 2023, who has not previously owned Sonic Origins is gonna buy the vanilla version at this point.
No.
There is no point in it. Just delist it, keep the DLC up for people who have that version, and just sell Origins Plus as is. I don't fucking get it. It's stupid.
It's Sega being Sega.
Yep, that's basically it. But yeah, the game's fun. Like I enjoyed playing as Amy, so worth it, I guess.
Do you think that maybe having Amy in this is a test run for when she comes in Frontiers?
Superstars.
Or Superstars as well.
I think it's absolutely both of those things. I think they're like, okay, we're going to retroactively put Amy in the game she was never in. so that we can start this Amy renaissance, because this is the year of Amy. Let's be real.
And she's also probably going to be in the Sonic 3 movie if that doesn't get delayed because of the strikes. And so no, it did. It was supposed to start filming in August. There's no fucking way that it's going to make its Christmas date. I'm just saying. And in the way that the AMT, the brief little tangent, the way that the AMTPT or however the fuck you say them are responding to the strikes. This strike between the actors and the writers, they have calculated it's probably going to last until November.
Oh,
yeah, it's definitely getting delayed.
This is what happened. Pay your people. What are you doing,
dude? Dude. If animators join them, Hollywood is screwed.
Well, Hollywood's basically already screwed. Animators are the only one. The problem is that the animation guilds are like split up. Like there's a bunch of they're like VFX workers. They're all split up right now. The animation guild could go on strike, but it wouldn't affect. It would only affect a theatrical and specific TV productions. It would not affect everything.
I see.
Like some animated films are still going to come out. It's like next year we're getting a Lord of the Rings film in animation called Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim, but it's an anime film. It was made by Production IG and it's a Japanese co-production. So it would not be affected by any strike. I'm excited for it, by the way, because it's produced by Peter Jackson and it's got the OG people working on it.
Really?
And it's about the Rohan War, the initial Rohan Wars in like the Second Age and stuff. So it sounds so fucking cool. Okay, but whatever. Yeah. But yeah, Amy is making a big splash right now, so I would not be shocked if that's why she's just in it. Because I'm happy she's getting a lot of. She's big now. I'm happy she's basically one of the major characters now, because I think that she's deserved this for long. She's been kind of sidelined for basically 2 decades. And
since
the majority of side characters in Sonic have been other than like Tails have really been pushed to the side since Unleashed. Basically, like 06 killed off the use of Sonic's friends for like 15
Yeah, because they're all badly written in it. That's the problem. Is that they're all like
they're all badly written, and they all are awful to play except Blaze. But thank God for Project 06. Thank God for that.
Project 06 fixes it, but like at the same time, you can't have a fan game immediately retcon the fact that this game as it is like abysmal. Like there's a reason why there's a reason why Shadow has not been a playable character since like 06.
He was in Forces.
He wasn't okay, yeah, he wasn't.
Are we really counting that? Are we really? He's just a fucking reskin Sonic. Like, are we really counting that? He does nothing different.
But don't you want to play?
He's not written well in Forces. To be fair, no one's written well in Forces.
No one's written well in Forces.
I was gonna say, like,
that's why it's called War.
That's fine.
That game, Forces, is like the funniest game ever made. If you see it as like a comedy, it's so good.
I love it so much.
Oh god.
It's not even like it's terrible. It's just mediocre. But everything story-wise about that game is just so funny. It's so stupid.
Edgy Sonic.
But don't you want to play a Shadow in that one city level where you meet up with Shadow in the end, so you can have Shadow meet Shadow?
I tried to do that with like CD and Amy, and they just didn't have Amy in.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, they don't.
Yeah,
they cut her out. You can't have Amy meet Amy. No double Amy.
I said they should have had Sonic get kidnapped.
That's what I was thinking. I thought that would have been cool, but they didn't.
That would have been great role reversal. Great little
it's really unfortunate.
Super Princess Amy.
Yeah,
Super Princess Amy. That new Peach game is gonna be fire. By the way, I'm saying.
Really interested in that. Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Y'all, do you guys buy into the fan theories that it's a prequel because she has a ponytail and no crown?
It would be cool. It would actually be pretty cool if they played off the idea.
Mario Origins Peach.
Yeah, well, that always has been kind of the question, is like, why is she and Mario normal people in the Mushroom Kingdom? And the movie,
are they just going to use the movie explanation where it's like, oh yeah, she's also from New York.
Also from Brooklyn.
I mean, it's kind of the explanation that makes the most sense. She's also from the real world. She just got there a lot earlier.
She got there like she wandered in as a baby and fucking just stayed there. Where are her parents?
They're probably dead.
Can't wait to see
Lord.
Wario.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Okay, so because the existence of Mario in Brooklyn implies that also Wario's from Brooklyn, which means that Wario is a real person that has no connection to Mario. He just looks like looks like a fatter Mario and is named Wario. He just exists.
It should have been Wario instead of Foreman Spike in the movie.
I think it was Foreman Spike. That was a deep cut. I like that. I thought that was.
It was a deep cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what else do I have to talk about? So, I also made another big gaming purchase. Matt knows what I'm talking about here.
Boy. Oh boy.
Hey,
Steam Deck. Nice.
Yeah, Steam Deck. So
nice. I should probably get one.
Same.
Yeah. I'm 100% being honest here, dude. This is the best purchase I've ever made. Like, this thing is incredible. Like, yeah, I am not a PC gamer. I've had issues for years because I have so many games on Steam, but I'm just not a PC gamer, so I never play them. It's not as comfortable for me. So getting this, I literally got this as an excuse to finally play my Steam games. Holy shit.
He got a third eye. He had his third eye has opened up.
Yeah. My Sharingan has awakened.
For me, it's like I'm considering getting one, but the only thing is I mostly only played indie games on Steam before, and now basically every indie game I would want releases on Switch. So it's like if I got a Steam Deck, I would probably just get it to play like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 and the Trails games on it.
Trails game.
I mean, same.
Yes.
Because the original Sky trilogy is only on Steam. It's not on modern platforms.
Yeah. That's like 300 hours a game right there.
But yeah, so I basically got this as an excuse to finally play my Steam games. And let me just put this into context. I have played more PC games in the last month since I got this than I ever have. Like, it has been a huge deciding factor in me finally sitting down and play these, because it's just, this form factor is so comfortable. And it's the fact that I'm not tethered to my PC anymore. Like, I can play this sitting on the couch, I can take it outside, I can hook it up to my TV over there, and I can play it over there.
I heard the Sega noise.
Oh yeah, it's because I was switching profiles, that's why.
Yeah. Which model of it did you get?
I got the middle of the road. I got the 256. So okay. it has the NVMe SSD in it. I put a terabyte micro SD in it. And yeah, it's been working wonders. Like, it's amazing how good games run on this thing. Obviously, indie games run like a dream because those aren't very, taxing on any hardware. I am shocked how good some AAA games run on this thing. I was playing Resi 4 Remake last night, running on high settings. Perfect. 60 frames, no dips, nothing. I thought it was going to explode because the fans were kicking into overdrive, but the game ran flawlessly. Spider-Man Remastered at medium settings, consistent 50 to 60 FPS, and the game looks really good on the screen.
It's pretty fucking wild on how that game at launch, I don't know, I think they patched it since. Ran like ash at launch on most PCs. Which is a common thing with a lot of Sony games. It seems like.
I was gonna say that seems like a trend.
It's unreal. I think it's unreal. I'm pretty sure it's unreal. From the sound of it, that's also what affected Last of Us, and it's also what affected I don't know. Has Ratchet come out yet? No,
it comes out next week.
No, it's coming.
I would not be shocked if it affects Ratchet. Do not be shocked.
That's why I'm holding back before I invest in Ratchet, because I want to see how it fucking operates, if it operates at all.
It's going to be if it's Unreal, or at the very least it's a Sony port. I'm just going to say it's probably going to be a little dicey at launch. Like they've all been, all of them.
And people are making a big deal about how you don't need an SSD in order to play the game on PC.
Yeah.
Oh no, well a lot of game will get you're starting to need SSDs if I play games. Starfield is going to confirm that you need an SSD to play it on PC if you want to get it.
Yeah.
It's required. It's not
Yeah.
anymore, which is insane.
So are you gonna get FF16 on there when it comes out, Shane?
We'll sit. I'm gonna wait. When it eventually does, I'm gonna wait for the Digital Foundry video, and then we'll see.
Will it be better than
be
better than the launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intrograde on PC?
Because 16 does, even on PlayStation 5, have some technical issues. Like, it does have frame drop.
I have heard that it has turned some PS5s into ovens.
Yeah, mine hasn't been too bad with that, but I have noticed frame drops with it. And it's probably just my Oh, go ahead.
Imagine it running on the PS4. Is that all?
No.
Yeah. Like my it's probably my stupid biased brain, but it's like frame drops bother me more on the PS5 than they do the Switch. They don't bother me that much on the Switch, but they do more with the PlayStation 5.
That's because the Switch is already limited in what it can do graphically and performance-wise. You expect that kind of performance from Switch.
Yeah.
They went into this generation saying these are the most powerful consoles ever made, rivaling the best PC has to offer.
Yeah.
So
when PS5 and Xbox Series X have frame drops, it's just like, what's happening here? What's going on? It's like when Redfall had so many graphical and technical problems when it came out on Xbox. What the fuck is what is this? What is happening?
Redfall had a lot more problems than
it had to have more problems, but
I think the performance was the least of his issues.
It was the least of the issues with that game.
I feel so bad because I remember you guys saying you were looking forward to Redfall and one of the
It was arcade.
Podcasts.
I was not. How were they supposed to predict this? It was arcade. They made Dishonored. They made the Dishonored games. They made Prey.
I've been betrayed.
They made good ass shit.
I've been betrayed.
Fuck.
But yeah, this thing is a godsend. I love this thing. It's the best purchase I've ever made, hands down. Not only because it's finally incentivized me to actually play my PC games, not only the fact that they run surprisingly well on this thing, it's the customization, because it's basically a PC you can hold in your hands. So you can get Windows on this thing, you can get emulators, you can customize it top to bottom. As you saw, the startup animation I have on this thing is the Sonic Team intro. You can do so much with this thing. It's frankly incredible. Man. And honestly, this has changed my perspective on how I actually buy games now. Because I'm like, oh, should I buy it on PC? Does it run well on deck? It's completely changed my mind. It's completely changed my mindset for the better, I think, though.
I really should get one eventually. I keep not thinking about it all too much, but maybe once I hopefully eventually get another job, I think I'll probably get one.
Honestly, you know what? Your best bet is probably the winter sale when that comes around, or the fall sale, whatever the next big sale is.
Oh, do decks go on sale during?
Because
they do. Okay,
yeah. So they just did the summer sale. It just wrapped up this last week. The discounts on decks are kind of crazy. The most expensive one is 20% off. And you think 20% off of a $600 device, that's $150.
That's a good chunk still.
For context, I got the middle of the road version, and the highest tier on sale was less than this.
Well, yeah.
I would buy. In that case, I would probably wait until then to get it. I'm gonna be in the same boat. I think my first after I get another, once I get actual shifts and more money and a steady position and job and stuff, my next big purchase is a Steam Deck. That's 100% what it's going to be. Because I want one. I want an excuse to play Yakuza while sitting on the toilet. That's what it's going to be.
Bro, play the pissing game in 6 while you're pissing.
It doesn't work on PC because it's frame locked. So
do you have a screen protector on that puppy?
I do. Don't worry. I got one on my Switch too. This one's actually cool because the highest tier of the deck has anti-glare glass on it. But that's like $200 extra for that version. Meanwhile, I got this screen protector for $18 on Amazon, and it's anti-glare too, baby.
Hell yeah.
Well, I ain't worried about the glare. I'm worried about the scratching.
Oh, it's always the scratching.
I don't think. No, it's not scratched yet. So.
Yeah. Okay.
That's keyword.
That's what I worry about with the Switch 2. When I will get the Switch 2 day one, but I am not taking that thing out of the box until I have a screen protector in my hands.
Until I play it 100%. Like until I know I'm playing this fucker.
Fair enough. But let's move on to our discussion question of the week to wrap things up before we go into the news. One of the games I've been playing on the Steam Deck lately is a game called Ender Lilies, which is a Metroidvania game. Really cool art style, Souls-like combat, really interesting game in terms of lore, really fun overall, and it got me thinking. There's a lot of good Metroidvanias out there, aren't there? So, discussion question of the week. What is your favorite Metroidvania game? Ryan, you go first.
I can go first. Pretty basic bitch answer. It's Metroid Fusion or Dread. It has to be those two.
Excellent
Those two
answers.
are so good. I love them so much. Like Fusion was my definitive number one favorite Metroid game. Then Dread came out, and then that was amazing. Like easily one of the best games of 2021. No
Absolutely,
question.
Yeah. I mean, it was my runner-up for Game of the Year that year.
They're so good for so many different reasons, but there's some other ones I could definitely throw in there, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Aria of Sorrow are both very, very good.
Classics
as well.
Classics for sure.
I know there's got to be some indie Metroidvanias I've played that I'm just not really thinking of at the moment, but because I mean I know the obvious answer for that is Hollow Knight, but I'm not that big on Hollow Knight.
I wasn't either when I first played it, so I know your feelings.
But yeah, for me, it would definitely be Metroid Fusion and Dread. Those are just mwah.
Yeah.
It may be a basic answer, but it's a very solid one.
It's a very good answer, yeah. It's a hard one for me because I love Metroidvanias a lot.
And he loves Metroid.
I do fucking love Metroid. My favorite of the 2D Metroids is always and forever will be Super Metroid. I think that's a masterpiece of a game. It has never done it better than that game has. I haven't played Dread yet. It's still sitting on my shelf.
You should. You absolutely should.
I need to play it. But Super Metroid has always been. It's not my favorite Metroid game. My favorite Metroid game, as Shane knows, is Prime. The original Prime. I think it's just perfect game. No notes. Nothing. Change nothing about that game. Like it's just perfect. I also love Symphony of the Night. I love most Castlevania games. Symphony of the Night's my favorite one, but I also love Aria and Dawn a lot. I also love Circle of the Moon is really underrated. Not a lot of people talk about that one, but I really like that one.
Yeah, that is. I even like Harmony of Dissonance. I know people.
Harmony of Dissonance has some issues, but I like it. I like Order of Scalia a lot.
Oh, dude, I want to play the DS Castlevania so much. Can it give me a collection, Konami?
A DS collection. I think Konami's prepping for that. I would imagine. I think they're prepping for that. I also, but my in terms of Metroidvanias, I really like the one that's sticking out to me is like the one where like I'm just like really really high on, and the one that like sticks out as like a modern classic is Ori and the Blind Forest.
Ooh.
And
Shane is ascending.
because because that game in particular does something with a lot of Metroidvanias that I really wish more of them did, and that's silence. It's a very quiet, atmospheric game. It's a game, and it's a game more focused. It really takes the idea of like Metroidvania is about exploration first and foremost. You getting new gear and going around the area, finding more shit, and it takes that to like its utmost degree because almost all of it is based in atmosphere and just beauty. And that, to me, makes it a really unique experience in Metroidvania stuff. It's really unique. I haven't played Will of the Wisps yet. I should, because it'll probably be better than Blind Forest. I've heard it's better than Blind Forest. Because I just love these games. But Ori in the Blind Forest, it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorites of all time. And
Did
if
they do a
I
third
don't
one?
necessarily what.
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
What do you say about something about a third one, or?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask if you think they'll make a third one.
From what I've heard, the
No.
ending of Will of the Wisp is pretty definitive. From what I've
Oh,
heard.
okay.
Or they could make like another one in the universe, though. I would not be that. That would be
Yeah.
like they could like just make another one. Who cares?
And also,
Like,
Moon Studio said they are working on a new IP, so it's
Okay,
definitely not
yeah.
their next game.
yeah, next year.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
imagine they've been working on Ori for like God knows how long. They probably want to move on to something else.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest. That game I really love. I really love that game. I think that game is phenomenal. I also really love Bloodstained.
Ritual of the Night, baby.
I love
Need to
Bloodstained.
play
I know
that.
Bloodstained's got its small issues, honestly, but like it doesn't matter when it's just so cool.
It's so
Um,
jank, but it's so good.
I need to play. I've played both Curse of the Moon, but not Ritual of the Night. And I
Ritual
love
of the
Curse
Night
of
is
the
so
Moon.
good. Bloodstained is the kind of game where like any issues I have with it are completely negated by the fact that it's just dope as shit. Like it's just so
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the only reason I haven't played Ritual of the Night was because I really wanted it on Switch, but then I heard it wasn't very good on Switch.
Yeah.
So I just
Everyone's like, get it on PC if you can. Because that's how I played it that way, and that it ran like butter. It ran really well.
okay.
But it's really Bloodstained is really. But yeah, my answer is Ori and the Blind Forest. Because
Yeah.
modern classic. Modern
They're
classic.
making a sequel to that, aren't they? Bloodstained 2? Haven't
They've
they
been
said
saying
that's in
that
the
for
works?
years. They've been saying that for years. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to happen simply because they made a sequel to Curse of the Moon, which was the smaller side
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
So
they probably will make it. I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, Ritual of the Night took fucking forever to come out too. So like,
Yeah, but this really shows. This really shows how you and I operate, Matt. We're on the same wavelength here, same brain cell.
is yours Ori as well?
It's Will of the Wisps is my answer,
Okay, because I haven't played Will of the Wisp, so
and it basically everything you said, except it's just better. That's basically it.
The atmosphere is
It's
sublime.
no game of that kind does atmosphere better than the Ori games. I would argue Blasphemous comes close, just because of that really Victorian Gothic horror aesthetic. Just really
that's also
sucks
just
you
Castlevania again.
Yes.
To go to bat for my answer, I would argue Metroid Fusion because that somehow made a Game Boy Advance game genuinely kind of scary. That's how good the atmosphere
Yeah, those
there
games.
is.
Well, yeah, the Metroid games are basically the Alien movies.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but the atmosphere in the Ori games is like this. It's this whimsy. It's this sense of wonder because the world is just so beautiful and so expansive, and it's a joy to explore top to bottom. Especially in Will of the Wisps, I think they genuinely upgraded everything. Blind Forest did well. In terms of exploration, in terms of combat, in terms of atmosphere, graphics, music, storytelling, every's just better.
Oh, the music.
The music makes me cry, dude. It makes me cry every time.
You mentioned like the tone of it. The Ori, what makes the Ori games have a tone? It's got my favorite tone, but type of tone ever, which is like a mix of like really, it's like scary but not.
Yeah.
It's like scary and mysterious, and
it's kind of foreboding, is what I would
foreboding,
describe it as.
but also really wondrous and whimsical and nostalgic, and it's like combining them. It makes it really bittersweet. It's a really bittersweet melancholy.
Yeah,
to the Ori
melancholy
games.
is the right word. Yeah,
like
it's definitely melancholic.
And if you ever look at like my favorite movies list, they're all just that tone.
Yep.
Consistently, they're just all of that, and Ori really nails that, and nails that. Particularly when it's like particularly when it's like delving into like the more sadder aspects of its story, and it does it really well. And it's also a game that does it with very little dialogue or very little actual.
Oh yeah.
Like it's all visual based storytelling, and you can easily follow the story. It's a story that if you like, it's a great story because you can follow it without dialogue or music. You can follow it completely fine. Like a kid could follow the story; they would know what the fuck is going on. It's great in that regard.
Yeah. It's just incredible game. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, let's go right into the news.
Into the news.
So we got 10 stories today. Sounds like a lot, but a lot of them are lumped into similar categories. A lot of them are interconnected, so to speak. Let's get the depressing stuff out of the way first. We've talked about game preservation a lot on this podcast and how shit it is. We didn't really need we didn't really need to know just how shit it is. But the Video Game History Foundation decided, hey, here's how bad it really is. They just conducted a study that came out over the last week. It shows some dire stats. So let's read. 87% of classic video games are critically endangered, according to the Video Game History Foundation. In partnership with the Software Preservation Network, the Video Game History Foundation has claimed 87% of classic video games released in the United States are critically endangered. A study conducted by the two groups found that across a sample of games released prior to 2010, a small fraction of them were still in circulation from re-releases. For example, from the sample of Commodore 64 games tested, only 4.5% of them were still purchasable on a modern digital storefront. Across the Game Boy family of systems, only 5.8%. This figure is far higher prior to the shutdown of the Wii U and 3DS eShops, which resulted in the only games available for those systems largely being locked behind Nintendo's online service. Imagine if the only way to watch Titanic was to find a used VHS tape and maintain your own vintage equipment so that you could still watch it, the study said. And what if no library, not even the Library of Congress, could do any better? They could keep and digitalize that VHS of Titanic, but you'd still have to go all the way there to watch it. It sounds crazy, but that's the reality we live in with video games. A $180 billion industry, while the games and their history disappear. The study looked to grant further exemptions to libraries and organizations when it comes to preserving video games. Currently, most archives are permitted to digitally preserve content, but in order to play this content legally, there is an expectation for fans to maintain sometimes decades-old equipment. The piece of legislation that dictates how classic games are preserved and accessed, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, is to be re-examined in 2024. We're hopeful that the study will incite change and that video game preservation will become stronger before we lose more. Yikes. Big yikes.
I am sad now.
Yeah. So, leading up to our most recent hiatus, we talked a lot about games preservation. Obviously, because of the shutdown of the Wii U and 3DS eShops, the bullshit EA was pulling with the Battlefield and Mirror's Edge games, all of the battle royales that were being delisted throughout the year. We're in dire straits here, and this study really puts that into context. Think about it. Almost 90% of the games released before 2010 are gone completely. You can't access them at all. Imagine how many video games have been released over the last 50 years. You can only play 13% of them in 2023. It's crazy how this puts everything into perspective. What do you guys think about this?
I mean, disappointed but not surprised. Like, I mean, this is just how the industry has always been. It has never done a good job preserving itself, at least publicly. I mean, God, even back in the 2000s, you got Square Enix losing the master source code to stuff like Kingdom Hearts 1 and Final Fantasy 8. How do you do that?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I mean,
someone accidentally clicked the delete button on
an old hard drive. They were
on like an old Windows XP.
And then a guy randomly found the master disc for KH1 on eBay, and Square had to contact him to get it.
Is that actually what happened?
That actually happened. A guy just found like the master.
This was like something from the fucking Onion.
The master copy of like Kingdom Hearts. It was either on like eBay or like a yard sale or like a convention or something. And Square actually got in contact with him to get it back.
Imagine that call. Imagine the guy that had to get that call. It's like, oh yeah, so we found the master disc and it's in a Some
Excuse me.
randos collection.
So you have our game. Can we has back?
Okay. No, like
Yeah.
I know, like you, like not like the copy of the game, like the game, like the actual
It's
game.
my chair. Just the problem is mostly just like some of it I do understand because there's a lot of licensed games from the 2000s that are
Mhm.
going to be dragged through copyright hell when it comes to re-releasing them.
I
So
mean, hell, look at all the
that
Marvel games from Activision that are still delisted because of that.
Yeah, all of the and all the movie tie-in games, especially in the 2000s with the tie-in movie game, the tie-in game boom.
how freaking long have people been asking for a port of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and they're
Yep.
still not freaking doing it? We'll make an arcade machine of it
Oh yeah,
because yeah,
which is
everybody's just got
the reason is that it has the fucking X-Men in it, and not until recently Marvel didn't want to do shit with them.
I mean, yeah, they own them now again, so why not?
I would not be shocked if they'll do it, but they'll do it when they actually introduce the X-Men in the MCU, which won't be for another fucking
Yep.
5 to 6 years at this point.
I mean, won't technically it be Deadpool 3 because Wolverine
That's
is
on
gonna...
hiatus. It was filming because of the strike. It's not filming anymore. It's probably going to get delayed again. To be fair, not they were filming it, so not it's the strike. I would rather them strike and get paid, but also like
Yeah.
but like yeah, it's not going to be for a while that the X-Men are fully introduced. So that's what's happening. And the piggy off of that with the game preservation, like it's all down to basically like this is just capitalism in action, folks. This is just how it
Mhm.
operates. This is reminding me a lot. Gaming is still a relatively recent medium in the grand scheme of
Very
things. It's
recent, yeah.
relatively new. This has reminded me a lot of like the early days of film. Back in
Yeah,
like the
because
fucking like early 1900s, from like the 1900s to like the 1930s ish.
yeah,
That
because
first
wasn't it...
30. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry, you go ahead. You were talking.
Yeah, like during that first 30 years, a lot, like 95% of the films from that era, they're just gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's like 90 to 95% of films before 1929, I believe it is, are just gone. Like, we don't have them anymore. They're just
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
they're
which
just
is
gone.
yeah, which is probably even worse than games because at least games we have stuff like emulators. Those
Yeah.
films are just like, ooh,
No, there's gone
like,
because the film stock either got eroded or like it because film stock it does decompose,
mhm,
or they were just gotten rid of, or they were shot over. Like a lot the Another example of this is back in the day, the BBC used to get rid of all of their old taped shows because they would like have to like restock them, and reshoot
uh-huh,
over them so they can save money on film because film is expensive. One of the
yeah,
shows they used to do that with is a little show called Doctor Who. And Doctor Who, for the first two Doctors, has a lot of those episodes are just gone. They
oh
were
god,
they're just completely gone. And if gone, there's been efforts to try to bring them back, obviously, but like
yeah,
David, like, so, like, this has reminded me a lot of the early days of film and TV. Every time there's a new medium, there's always like a 20 to 30 period portion of time where preservation on them is dog piss.
yeah,
And now I think we're getting to that moment in video game history where the same thing is we're realizing the same thing is happening in the gamings, and I think
I
that's going
will
to be
say
a shift.
right now we're probably not as bad off in this situation because this is just talking about accessing the games
Hmm.
legally, not
It is.
games that you just have absolutely no way of playing
It is.
anymore
Yeah.
here because we do have emulators that basically make it so you can still play these games if you really really want to. It's
Mhm.
not like it's just, oh, you want to play Shrek Super Slam on the GameCube. Well, I'm sorry, that's a piece of lost media or something like that. It's
I
not
still,
like
I
that.
still have a copy of Shrek Super Slam, honestly.
Oh, I know you do. I saw it
Yep.
on your shelf.
Yep, it's there. Um, it's you're 100% right, Ryan. It's these games are being preserved through emulation. It's just through official means. Companies are being greedy and won't sell you their old games because they don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah,
And
that's
at
what it comes
least
down to.
like, people give Nintendo crap for it, and granted, they're not great about it. At least I get the impression Nintendo cares about their legacy. There's a ton of companies who don't care at all about their early games. Like, when are you gonna see Rockstar release GTA 1 again?
They
They're
won't.
never doing
They
that.
won't.
Never happening. It's never happened. In fact, to Rockstar, GTA started with 3.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Persona.
Yep.
It's like Persona. Although I've heard rumors that Atlas is trying to remake 2, P2.
God, please.
So that does. The only reason I think, according the same guy who brought this up was the same guy who leaked out the remake of P3. By the way, so he's reliable. Apparently, the reason why they haven't remade 1 and 2 is because it would be much harder, and it would be from the ground up, and it would basically be a brand new game. So that's why they haven't started yet. But there is interest, and they are gouging interest in it.
Yeah,
So.
and 1 and 2 are also very different from 3, 4, and 5.
They're very different kind of games.
They would probably just change the gameplay styles to fit.
They would just make it P5.
And also P2 has the thing of being like 2 games, and you would have to combine them because it would be double. It would be a long project.
Like the subtitle Shin Megami Tensei fits on Persona 1 and 2. It does not fit on 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, it does not. It does not. I want to see 2 remade though, because the storyline of 2 is really good.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
It's really good. It deserves to be remade. It deserves it.
Okay. But let's move on. We got quite a few stories following this. Hey, we got dog shit preservation. So how about we get some stories about companies either re-releasing or wanting to re-release old games, starting with our old friends at Square Enix, saying they're considering remastering more of their previous classic titles following the success of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. So let's read. Square Enix is considering its plans for remastering old titles. Speaking recently as part of the company's 43rd annual shareholders meeting Q&A, Square's board was asked about the company's plans to remaster some of its older titles following the success of the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster, which was released earlier this year. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 Pixel remaster has been well received. Are there any plans to remaster other past titles? Personally, I would like to play Xenogears, asked one shareholder. That man is based.
That man he's my legend. I love that man.
That man is a king.
I heard about that.
Yeah. A member of Square's board replied, "We will refrain from sharing information about new titles, but we are considering various ideas within the company and hope that you will look forward to forthcoming announcements." Square was also asked why the company has longer gaps between game releases than its peers do, and what the board's thought were on the planned release schedule for upcoming major titles. I will refrain from speaking in specifics, but I will say that we believe that the strengthening of our internal development organization will be of benefit as the difficulty of developing major titles is becoming extremely high, which also has implications for development lead times. We hope that this reinforcement of our organization will promote the development not only of major titles, but also new IPs under the new management team. So far in 2023, Square Enix has released Forspoken, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, Octopath Traveler 2, Paranorma Site: The Seven Mysteries of Honjo. What the fuck is that?
What is that?
Apparently that's good. I've heard good things
I've never heard of it.
You know what? I wouldn't be shocked if it was. I've never heard of it though.
And Final Fantasy 16. So yeah. Give us Xenogears, cowards.
Yes.
Give us Xenogears, which is the only of the which I haven't played any of the Xenoblade games, but I have played Xenogears and I have played Xenosaga.
I think there's a pretty good chance for it because interest in Xeno is very, very high right now because of how good Xenoblade has been doing, especially off the back of 3. I'd say remakes of Saga are more likely, especially if no spoilers, but if
no.
Certain things in 3 might make you think that way.
I want a Xenogears remake for 2 reasons. One, because I want people to experience that mindfuck again. Have any of you played Xenogears? For context?
I own it, have not played it. I need to. Though.
Xenogears is the Neon Genesis Evangelion of RPGs, and I mean that literally. In that the production on that thing went to shit halfway through, so the second disc is almost entirely
A
philosophy
visual
and
novel.
fucking and visual novel and like surrealist fucking Jungian psychology and shit. And it's awesome.
I know
fucking
that
rules.
I know that Hi-Fi Rush of all games reference fucking Xenosaga.
I want when it comes to Xenosaga, if they were to like re-release that, personally, there are two ways to do that. Either you just release the 3 Xenosaga games as is, just remaster them and put them on modern systems, which would be great, or get the original guy back and actually do the original plan for Xenosaga, completely reboot it. Do what his original plan was, which was 6 Xenosaga games, all around 100 hours long. And just have them do that.
Jesus Christ.
I would say they would probably remake the trilogy is what I would think is most likely. But I would really love to see Gears, especially after what we saw of the Star Ocean Second Story remake.
Holy shit, that looks incredible.
It looks phenomenal, yeah.
That is the way that looks and is built, that is perfect for a Xenogears.
I have that pre-ordered. I can't fucking wait.
It looks fantastic. I'm happy that Square seems to be interested in like bringing back a lot of their old titles anyways. The Pixel remasters, I know people had their quibbles about the text in it. You can just use mods to fix that.
They do. There apparently is an option to change it in the console versions. They did add a different font that you can. Yeah,
but I've always thought the Pixel remasters looked really great. And really great. And I do also like the fact that they're keeping the 3D versions of 3 and 4 up as well to buy, because those are basically their own games and deserved like the same preservation at that point. And it's they're much better and the releases of 5 and 6 are far better than the ones that they used to be on Steam, because those were awful releases.
There are a bunch of Square games I would love to see get remade or get more attention. I think HD 2D Chrono Trigger is just a matter of time. I think that's almost
happening.
That's the obvious one, made, dude.
That's like the obvious one to have. I want that. Let's go. Like, we need to go deeper. We need to like. Go weirder.
I would love to see them dive more into stuff like Live Alive, like do games that never released outside Japan. Like give me Bahamut Lagoon as a remake. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Hell yeah.
That would be Kino.
Yeah, do something like that.
Or just do the HD3 do the HD3 like the HD 3D thing for all the old Dragon Quest stuff.
Or even do a non-RPG like Parasite Eve.
Oh yeah, how long has it been since we've had Parasite Eve? In general,
PS2, I think maybe.
It's old ass franchise. Fucking
yeah. Well, let's move on. Other companies are interested in remaking or remastering their old games, including also our friends at Sega. So let's read.
Yeah.
Sega president and COO Yukio Sugino has said that the company is considering more Sonic remakes and reboots as well as new titles. Speaking to Famitsu, the Sega boss said that while reboots and remakes don't work with all of Sega's properties, it is focusing on what is best for each IP. In the case of Sonic, this could mean more remakes and reboots. Of course, we have to do new things, but not all IPs are the same for new releases and reboots, Sugino said. For each IP, we will choose which method is appropriate at this time. Sonic is Sega's flagship IP, and we are considering reboots and remakes for it in parallel with new titles. In an interview with VGC at Summer Games Fest earlier this year, we asked Sonic creative officer Takashi Iizuka if the return of 2D Sonic and the recently announced revival of Samba de Amigo could lead to the return of other classic franchises such as Knights or Burning Rangers. I can't say yes to anything right now, Iizuka replied. These days I'm the creative officer for Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm totally focused on that side of the business. So I can't really speak for anyone else, but Sonic Team in Japan has been ramping up and hiring lots of people recently. They have more people than ever before, so there may be some future where you'll be hearing about these kinds of titles. So yeah, Sega looking to remake or remaster their old catalog. We've obviously seen this happening a lot lately. Colors Ultimate, P3 Reload, that Jet Set Radio remake that also got leaked at the same time, which we haven't had officially confirmed yet, but we know it's coming. We've seen it.
Ishin.
What else? Ishin?
Ishin is a big one.
What else could we see from Sega in terms of... I want, personally...
I say 1 and 2.
I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I personally would like to see a remake of a timeless classic from the Dreamcast. Some would say the defining game of that console. Sega Bass Fishing.
I thought you were going to say Skies of Arcadia.
Okay, because Microsoft Flight Simulator does really well. Let's bring in Sega Bass Fishing, please.
Why not? Let's
do it. Fucking do it. I'd buy it. I'd play it.
I want
100%
SA1. I want SA1 and 2 so much. There's rumors going around that people think they might be remastering Heroes or something.
That would be a weird one to remaster.
I would
love it, but it'd be such a random choice.
I'm ascending. Goodbye, friends.
Does that mean they're going like backwards? Like they started with Colors, then they'll go to Heroes, and then they do Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
That'd be weird to go from Colors to Heroes.
That would be weird.
It's Sega. It's also Sega. So like, let's be honest. We need to think like coked up Japanese executives. And clearly that's what they're thinking.
We need to think like Yuji Naka, who got arrested for insider trading.
Yes.
And he's in jail for like 4 years. He's officially going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic. I mean, I posted about it like an hour or so before we came on here, but I would love to see remake of Burning Rangers, Skies of Arcadia.
What
was the other? Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Baby.
So we don't have to pay $900 to play.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that.
I'd be down for an Orda remake. I would love that.
Or Estal would be a cool one.
I want a new Golden Axe. That's what I want.
Golden Axe, that would be a good one.
New Golden Axe. New Parappa.
Does Sega own Parappa the Rapper?
No,
I thought it was.
No, I think
Sega?
Matt's tripping. Matt's tripping right now. That's
was
Sony.
It Sega?
Dude.
I don't know.
No, isn't it Sony? I think Sony.
That's Sony. Sony owns Parappa.
Never mind. I'm dumb.
I think he's thinking of Samba. I think he's thinking of Samba.
Because he's in place. Yeah, because Parappa the Rapper's in PlayStation All-Star.
I think Matt got him confused with Samba Day.
Yeah, I did. You know what? Yeah, never mind.
Let's not listen to Matt. Let's ignore Matt for the rest of this conversation.
Exposed.
Knights. That's an easy one.
Yeah,
give us a new Knights game.
I'd love to see Rystar come back.
Holy shit! Holy shit, dude. Re-release Rystar, remaster, remake, I don't care. Give me Rystar, please. That game is so good.
Yeah, I beat Rystar. Rystar's really fun.
I fucking love Rystar. It's so cool. Such a cool game. Horribly underutilized. He's the fucking flag boy for what? All-Stars Racing Transformed? That's the state of Rystar.
That's it.
Yeah, or it was something like Sega All-Stars Race, and I think Knights was the flag boy, and like Rystar could be seen like waving at you by the finish line in like a space level or something.
I just want a new Knights. Really sad. It's been so long. Like fucking
Knights would be so cool to see.
Yeah,
like modern Knights would be trippy as fuck.
But yeah, no, I'm with Shane. Sega Bass Fishing. That's the big.
Yep,
that's
100%.
The biggest
VR Knights just flying around.
That would either be amazing or like a complete miscalculation and just not.
Motion sickness galore.
Yeah,
I know, but regardless, I'd play it.
I would play it.
I'm very curious to see how that would work.
That would be.
We need VR of all Sega properties. VR Sonic.
No, you need VR. You need VR Pro Bass Fishing, and it needs to come with a fishing rod controller. That's the only way you can get it.
I would actually play the
optimal atmosphere.
Sounds interesting. I'd actually play that though.
Optimal immersion right there.
Or VR Yakuza. You just beat the shit.
You just beat the shit out of people.
Yo, I could do the tiger drop in real life. That'd be funny as fuck.
That'd be sick as fuck. And then karaoke.
That's That's just waiting for an internet skit to be made of someone wearing the headset and just beating the shit out of everybody in their house.
just doing a heat move on your mom.
You accidentally bump into your cat and it just fucking turns into a tiger and you have to
fight the tiger.
Oh god.
Oh man. Let's move on before we get even more unhinged.
Oh no.
I saw the next story and we're getting more unhinged.
I saw the next story. Gex.
What is it?
It's Gex.
So much for not unhinged.
So, Limited Run Games had a showcase this week where they announced a bunch of re-releases that they're putting out over the next year. Really weird shit. Really weird shit.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is coming back.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Tomba's coming back. Fucking
Tomba, a successor to Zelda CDI.
Yeah, it's man.
They're going on Hinge.
Mm-hmm. But the ones that most people are talking about are the one we're talking about after Gex and then Gex. So let's read about Gex because oh boy. Limited Run Games has announced the Gex trilogy for modern consoles and PC. Developed by Crystal Dynamics, the platform game series starring an anthropomorphic gecko called Gex, comprised of 3 releases: 1995's Gex, 1998's Gex Enter the Gecko, and 1999's Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. The games are being brought to Switch, PS4, PS5, Series X and S, and Steam using Limited Run Games' Carbon Engine, a development tool that helps create emulation-based ports of classic games for modern hardware. A release date for the trilogy has yet to be announced. So, this one's weird. Everyone loves Gex. Whether you're memeing or not, everyone loves Gex.
Thank you, Scott the Waz.
Thank you, Scott the Waz. Scott the Waz shit himself when he saw that announcement.
Scott the Waz literally manifested this into existence.
He really did. Yeah. You know what? Cardinal gaming sin that I am confessing here. I have never played Gex.
I mean, I haven't either, and I
either.
I think a lot of people haven't, but it's like people are kind of aware of it. Which I mean, hey, I hear they're good games. I hear good things about Enter the Gecko specifically.
Yeah. But if you think that I am not buying this day one, you are sorely mistaken, my friend.
It will be my game of the year of whatever year it comes out.
Yes,
I am buying it too.
Even if it's bad and I don't like it, it's still my game of the year because it's Gex.
I think the more interesting thing about this announcement, which goes for a lot of the other announcements during this Limited Run showcase, is that Limited Run are developing these remasters themselves. They're using their own in-house engine, and I find that very peculiar because Limited Run is a publishing company. They re-release old games through their label. They don't make games. So this is a very new and weird step that they're taking here. And Gex isn't the only one. They said Tomba's being remade in the Carbon Engine. The Jurassic Park Classic Collection, that's being remade in Carbon Engine.
I think Clock Tower is too.
Clock Tower, that was another one I saw.
Yeah, so they're taking their first step into actual video game development. Even if it's just remasters, it's still something, given their reputation as a company. We'll see how this goes, because this could go many different ways.
I'm excited. I'm glad that like these games are getting re-released though, because a lot of these ones are like older, like either older classics or just underappreciated gems that like deserve that second appraisal. I mean, Gex obviously has gone from underappreciated gem to the meme lord of the internet. Yep. So like, I'm very excited. And I do think that it's gonna sell like hotcakes just because.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a massive hit, and I'm calling it now. It's gonna be a big enough hit that we're gonna get like a Gex 4 announcement or something like that.
How many copies do you think Scott the Waz is gonna buy?
All of them.
God.
He's gonna clean out Limited Run's warehouse. just take all of the copies.
And Scott the Waz is gonna have like a live stream of like him going to like Target and finding the nearest, like finding as many copies of Gex, the Gex trilogy as you can find.
I wouldn't put it past him though. That actually sounds like a real video he would make.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I am very excited for this stuff, but I also am somewhat wary because like I've ordered several things from them, but also Limited Run doesn't have the best reputation in a lot of ways.
Definitely not nowadays. No, yeah,
No.
it's
No.
definitely been tanked a little in recent years. I personally
Yeah.
don't have any issues with them because well, I've ordered two things from them. I ordered the No More Heroes bundles, and I ordered
Mm.
the Scott Pilgrim KO edition. The Scott Pilgrim KO edition took 14 months to be delivered to my house from pre-order. So,
Yeah.
mm, the No More Heroes, not so much. That was like a quick turnaround. That was like 3 months.
Mhm.
However, despite the insane production times on these things, they are always quality, and I think that's the reason why it doesn't bother me. Is that I know when that thing eventually shows up on my doorstep, it's going to be a quality edition. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff in there. So
Mhm.
it doesn't bother me per se. I know it bothers a lot of other people, especially with, I guess they've been having a lot of weird delays with some of their editions lately, like in the past few months.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a
And
little
there
spotty in terms of their output right now.
and there is some things as well that they've said that like
Yeah,
I I
yeah,
I, I know well
yeah,
they're always like supporting game preservation, but you make all this stuff limited. Or it's like another thing is they say, oh, we only do one run per game, yet they have done multiple runs for certain games before. So it's
yeah,
like
Mm.
eh.
yeah. So we'll see how this turns out. Speaking of limited run, the other big headliner of their showcase
Big one.
is a game that never even came out that is being revived through their label, and that is the canceled Shantae GBA game called Risky's Revolution. That's coming back, and
Mhm.
it's being officially released through Limited Run Games. So let's read. Way Forward Shantae director Matt Bozen has announced today the revival of Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution, a previously canceled Game Boy Advance project. This game was meant to come out in 2004 and covers an entire missing chapter of the series. Risky Boots has found a secret subterranean device underneath Sequin Land and allows her to rotate landmass, which she can then plunder. The story steers the gameplay, allowing the player to shift the world around while solving puzzles and saving the day. It sounds like Fez, actually. It sounds exactly like Fez. Um, Bozen also notes how there's no way a physical release would have happened without the assistance of limited run games. Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution will be released as a full game with all of the hair-whipping, belly-dancing action that Shantae fans have come to expect, along with multiple chapters, numerous towns and labyrinths, 6 creature transformations, fierce bosses, and a soundtrack by acclaimed composer Maddie Lim, plus a 4-player battle mode. And then they announced there's a tweet from Way Forward. People were asking, "Hey, what platforms is this game coming to?" They don't have any platforms to announce right now. We can assume it's going to come to standard PlayStation, Xbox, Switch.
Yeah.
But yet the fact that this game was never released, it was canceled almost 2 decades ago, and Limited Run is essentially reviving this game. That's also bold new direction for that company because I don't think they've ever done
Yeah.
anything like that before.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only thing like this that I can think of in recent memory where a game is revived and basically being made in the way it was originally intended to be made. Like not like Metroid Dread, where it was
Mhm.
a project that just floated around for like a decade plus until it eventually came to life. Like it's made in the format and style that it was intended to be made.
Star
The
Fox
only thing I
2.
can think of Star Fox 2. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that's what
only
I
other
was
one I can
thinking.
think of.
And Star Fox 2 was another weird one where like the game was basically almost was when it was canned, it was almost done. The game was basically almost done. It was just canned because the N64 had come out and it was the
Yeah.
SNES was seen as too dated. So they're like, let's just
Mhm.
switch over development to like Star Fox 64, which we got that.
Pretty
So
much.
I don't know. I don't know how far Risky Revolution was in development prior to cancellation. So I don't know how much work they'll need to do in order to finish this.
I know
Um,
they did have footage of it
Yeah, they
back
did
in the
have footage.
day.
There's some there. Yeah, there's like developer footage. several screenshots.
So it was in development for quite a bit, but I don't know how much was it done. How much percentage of it was done.
Yeah.
I would imagine it was if they're able to like finish it and like actually release it in the way it was intended. My guess is that it was probably like 70-something% done.
It was probably pretty close.
It was probably pretty close to being done because like. As much as I would love to see games that got canned get like re-put, like obviously Mega Man Legends 3 would be another one that could actually maybe fit this bill. If a game is like only like 10-20% done, the chances of that like actually getting revived are like very slim because it's not far enough in development.
Where's Sonic Extreme, Sega?
Where is it? Where's Sonic Extreme?
I mean, that game is basically done. Just give it to us.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, just release it. It's zero money. It's zero money to release. Just release it. Do what you did with the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and stealth drop it on Steam with no promotion. Free money.
So awesome.
It's free money. That's what that is.
Yeah. But this is really cool, and especially as a fan of Shantae. I don't know how big a fan you guys are of Shantae.
Love Banter. I love it.
I played and really liked Pirate's Curse. I love Pirate's Curse. Not sure how much I would jive with the rest of the series given what I've seen from it. I feel like I might like Half Genie Hero.
Half Genie Hero is really good, yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard Seven Sirens is kind of iffy, and like
Seven Sirens was doomed from the beginning because it was an Apple Arcade game.
Yeah.
It was an Apple Arcade game. It was fine. It's probably my least favorite of the series. It's probably my least favorite of the bunch.
And the fact that it was basically split in half, it was released as two separate games.
If you can, check out the original Game Boy Color one, because that one is like a really... It's for Game Boy Color era. It is kind of insane. They're able to do like Game Boy Advance level graphics on it, on like the color.
Nice.
It's pretty nuts on what they were able to do with it. But my favorite is Pirate's Curse as well.
Yeah, definitely. I really liked Half Genie Hero too. I thought that was really
I did too. I like all of the games in the series, mind you. I think that it's a really strong, consistent series.
Risky's Revenge also is really good.
Yeah, that's also on Steam. So
yep.
Yeah. The only thing I've heard about Risky's Revenge is that it's very obviously unfinished.
Oh yeah. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's move on from the game re-release preservation stories. Let's move on to some remake rumors, starting with Need for Speed Most Wanted. Apparently, a remake of this game was leaked from our favorite source, voice actor fuck-ups. So let's read.
Voice actor fuck-ups.
A remake of Need for Speed Most Wanted is coming next year, a voice actor has claimed. In a since-deleted social media post, Simon Bailey, who voiced a character in the original game, claimed that a remake is in the works and due to be released in 2024. In the post, Bailey tagged Criterion Games, seemingly suggesting the EA studio is involved in the project. It's worth noting that Bailey is likely referring to the 2005 Need for Speed Most Wanted, not the version that was released in 2012. And the post that she posted reads as follows. Need for Speed Most Wanted Remake is being released in 2024. Like and comment if you want to see Cross and his partner hunt down the Most Wanted at EA at Criterion Games.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
This is the funniest thing ever.
Okay, that's how you know it's real, because he said that, and it's so obviously like a tweet that was supposed to go out like on a day of an announcement, and he just forgot about. But they must have moved the announcement day without telling him or something, so it went out, and then he's like, "Oops!" and he deletes the tweet. And
Jesus Christ.
It's real. It's happening. So that remake is happening.
And it's like an Atlas. It's like when Atlas's Instagram tweet posted about Persona Reload and Tactica.
That intern's fucking dead. That intern got murdered
during Summer Game Fest instead of when it should have been during.
Did you guys
Xbox
see the fucking job on Atlas's like US website that they after like that whole incident they actually had a job posting for social media intern?
I'm telling you, they literally murdered that guy.
Fired.
They literally murdered him. He's dead.
Gone. He's in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Need for Speed. I was more of a Burnout guy. So I don't have a huge attachment to Most Wanted. I know it's the fan favorite. I know it's the one everyone loves. What do you guys think about this? What are you Need for Speed fans? Are you attached to Most Wanted? Do you think a remake would be cool to see?
I've never played Need for Speed before, but I've heard good things about it. So I mean, hey, if it's a remake, that's cool. Like I'm not gonna say no.
Right, yeah.
I only really have 2 experiences with Need for Speed. I play my cousin's house had a Need for Speed game on the PS2. I don't know which one as a kid. So I played that sometimes when I was like 5 or 6. I don't think it was Most Wanted. But it was one of them. I don't know which one. And the other one is the live action film with Aaron Paul, which is Piss. The other, so that's all I have. I don't like. Racing games aren't my thing. They've never really been. At least until Forza Horizon took over my life for like.
That's really when, yeah. That was my fault. That was our fault.
But even the Forza Horizon, I liked because it was like, oh, I can go around and like knock shit over in like a barn.
I can drive through a billboard in eastern Mexico.
I can go. I can drive through. I can drive through like this cornfield and no one will give a shit. So like, but like, yeah, so I'm not huge on it. I mean, if it's happening, congrats to the Need for Speed fans, I guess. All I know about Need for Speed at this point is that Need for Speed fans have been dying of thirst because it's not been good out there for them for the past little bit.
Well,
wasn't there one that just came out though?
Oh, Need for Speed Unbound. That one was good.
Yeah.
That was the first like actually good one since I want to say
it's been a while, right?
Hot Pursuit? That was a while ago.
Exactly. It's been a while. Remember Need for Speed Underground?
Yeah. I have nothing to say about this. It's cool. I want to play Most Wanted.
I just think it's funny. It's entire.
But where's Burnout?
Where's Burnout?
Give me Burnout, coward. Sure, the fucking the Need for Speed fans are pissing in the streets right now, but guess what? If you're a fan of Burnout, you've been starving. You've been literally famished.
Burnout fans are the skeleton on the bench.
That's me. I'm the skeleton. Because fucking Burnout Revenge is
burn.
Oh, that's
what are the chances that a new Burnout comes out?
If it does, I will come.
Yes, he will piss. I
will piss and come in that order.
He will.
I'm pissing, shitting, coming everywhere.
He'll piss motor fluid.
I will turn into a car.
Turn into a car.
I will Utana this bitch.
He's Utana.
I will Utana this bitch.
If a new Burnout comes out, Shade will play it on stream cosplaying as Lightning McQueen.
I will become a machine of speed and aerodynamics.
I am speed. Ka-chow.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. God. Why? So, there's reports saying that Last of Us 2 may
I knew
be getting
that's what was going to come up.
Remade.
Well, remaster, to be
fair.
A
remaster, yeah.
Remaster.
Still.
Still.
Stupid. Let's read. The Last of Us Part 2 composer Gustavo Santaolalla has seemingly let slip that an enhanced version of the game is in development at Naughty Dog. Santaolalla, who has composed the original game and the franchise's TV adaptation for HBO, incredible show, by the way, mentioned that a new version of Part 2 is in the works during an interview with Blender. During the conversation, one of the interviewers expressed his delight at playing the game and finding out that Santaolalla has a cameo in it. In the section in question, which can be seen in the video below, the Argentinian musician can be found playing a solo on a Ron Rocco. According to a Spanish language website Vandal, Santa Olala has revealed that a new version of the game is in the works, which players will be able to make him play certain tracks, before adding that he wasn't allowed to reveal any more information.
Santalala, you fucking love
Jesus
this man, but
Christ.
I love this man, but he needs to learn to shut up because he's done this before.
He has.
For context, The Last of Us Part 2 released for PS4 in June 2020 and received a PS5 performance patch a year later in 2021. Naughty Dog, make a new fucking game challenge. I'm just saying.
They're still working on that Last of Us multiplayer thing. They're still working on
and Dexter.
It doesn't even have to be Jack Dexter. Just make something that isn't The Last of Us, please. Make a new game.
They're still working on that the big thing they're working on
factions
right now
game. Yeah,
it's like
the factions game. Yeah.
Sony is trying so hard to make The Last of Us their Mario when it will never be their Mario for several reasons.
Yeah, because because Last of Us is not aimed at an all ages audience like Mario.
Yeah,
they need a Mario.
It doesn't have that easily reusable, digestible vibe to it.
It's not. Well, it purposely not. It's not designed. It's not designed to be a mascot game. It's not designed to that. It's Last of Us is fucking great, but it's not designed to be like that.
Many people thought it should have been a one-off. Many people thought it shouldn't have even had a sequel.
Fuck it. I'm glad it did because I'm really loved Part 2, but it's one of the things where it's not designed to be a mascot. It was designed It was designed honestly to be an artistic expression to an extent, and that's fine. That's fine. Not every game needs to be a fucking mascot thing, but it's not just Ratchet would be a better mascot thing, or even Kratos. But even then, I wouldn't put Kratos.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
I mean, Kratos is probably the closest thing to PlayStation.
It's probably the closest thing, but Ratchet would be a better fit, I think.
Mostly just because Kratos has been probably the most consistent character to it, because Kratos and God of War have never really went away since he
stayed around. But I would also
many other franchises have fallen. Even Ratchet kind of went away for a while.
Yeah, Ratchet. I'd say Ratchet's better fit because if we want their Mario, it has to be a character that appeals to multiple age groups and not just
I think a better way to describe it isn't that they want it to be their Mario. They seemingly want Last of Us to be their flagship IP. They want The Last of Us to be what people know PlayStation for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is interesting, which is weird because which is weird for a couple of reasons. Mainly because from what I've read because it's been an open secret. We know Part 3 is happening at some point. That's
probably
obvious. But from what I've read, if they do Part 3, that's more than likely it. That's the end of it. They're ending it with that. So a clean trilogy and we're done. That does seem to be what they're planning on.
Which, to be fair, that is what PlayStation does a lot. They make IPs and then they drop them off.
It's being Sony again. I think the big reason they're doing this is the fact that the Last of Us show happened. That is 100. And Last of Us show happened, and it got nominated for 24 Emmys, including Outstanding Drama Series, Outstanding Lead Actor, and Outstanding Lead Actress, as well as Astounding Writing and Directing.
It's almost like this series is award bait.
So it's probably happening because of that. The only consolation I get from this news is that Last of Us Part 2 will probably be on PC because of this.
And it will probably be dog shit because we know
how probably have a fucking because it's a Sony port and have a bad release. Because you can't have nice things, I guess.
There's so many other properties that these resources could go to that need it so much more, that could use a remake or a remaster, and it's just this doesn't need to happen. It's if you thought The Last of Us 1 remake got blasted, it might be even worse when it
it follows the trend of The Last of Us Part 2, so
yeah. So the discourse on that game has been a mess since it came out, and it's just
And it will only be made worse when season 2 of the show airs, and whenever this remaster comes out. It will be fucking abysmal.
They're splitting part 2 into 2 seasons. I can confirm that.
Yeah,
they have to because the game is like twice as long, so that makes sense. That's not surprising. But that means Shane, when Last of Us season 2 comes out and we watch it because the show fucking rules.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to deal with the discourse for 2 seasons. Are you ready for that?
No, frankly, I am not.
Are you just gonna be like me and mute and muted on any if Twitter? Well, Twitter might not even be around when it comes out, so I don't.
I'm not even on Twitter anymore anyway, baby.
Twitter might not even be around actually, so I think we'll be fine.
I'll get my own version of that torture when Game Freak remakes Pokemon Sword and Shield in 15 years.
Yeah, don't you love discourse? Don't you love
it? It's like torture.
I love video games.
I love video games. Yeah.
Let's move on to the Xbox news. We're starting with a light story before we get to the big stuff. More melancholic, a little sad actually. Major Nelson, who has been with Xbox since its inception back in 2001, basically the spokesperson for the brand, is leaving Xbox after 22 years at the company. So let's read.
Wow.
Larry Major Nelson Herb, Xbox's director of programming and the long-standing spokesperson for Microsoft's gaming business, has announced he's leaving the company after 22 years. In an announcement shared to his social media accounts on Friday, Herb thanked fans and colleagues and said he looked forward to the next chapter of his career. After 20 incredible years, I have decided to take a step back and work on the next chapter of my career, he wrote. As I take a moment and think about all we have done together, I want to thank the millions of gamers around the world who have included me as part of their lives. Also, thanks to the Xbox team members for trusting me to have a direct dialogue with our customers. The future is bright for Xbox, and as a gamer, I am excited to see the evolution. Herb confirmed that Xbox's official podcast would be taking a hiatus and will return at a later date. He's yet to confirm what his next career move will be. So, Major Nelson is one of those people in the industry that is synonymous with the brand. Like, when you think of Xbox, you think of Halo, you think of Phil Spencer, and you think of Major Nelson. I honestly think that obviously he was the spokesperson for the brand for a long time. He was there since its inception, 2001, 22 years. And even though, his relevance and his on-screen presence has kind of lessened since Phil Spencer took over as head of Xbox, I think Phil is the face of Xbox now. Major Nelson was still in the background. He was still doing community stuff. He was still hosting This Week on Xbox. He was doing all the social media stuff. He did Free Code Friday, where he would just give away free games every week. This guy is Xbox to me. Like, it's so weird, like, thinking about him leaving. Like, I remember back in the day when I first started playing on Xbox in like 2009 when I got my 360. I remember him, like, his face. It's like I said, it's just synonymous with the brand. What do you guys think of this? I know you guys aren't like Xbots, so to speak. Like, you're not like super connected with the brand like I am. But what do you think of this news about his departure?
I mean, sad to see him go, but eventually everybody moves on at some point, one way or like. I imagine for Xbox fans, this is how I and Nintendo fans felt when Reggie left.
This is basically the Reggie thing all over again.
Yeah, so it's sad to see them go, but it happens. People move on. You remember the good times with them, and hopefully someone else good comes along to fill their position.
Yeah. The question is, who's going to replace Major Nelson? I think that's the more interesting question.
I don't know, especially because he was doing, like, he did all of the social side of stuff. He runs a lot of the Twitter stuff. He did the podcast. He did the weekly news show. Like, that's a big on-screen presence you have to fill. Phil.
I don't think it's not going to be Phil Spencer.
It's not going to be Phil. It's not. He's
I
too
love Phil
busy
Spencer.
buying every company under the sun.
It's not. Phil Spencer's fun for the memes, but that man is not nearly as charismatic. So like
Don Matrick.
they would need the thing is that you would need someone just you
Is
would
Don
need someone
still alive? Like,
I don't know.
They would need someone just as charismatic as Major Nelson to like carry over. That's the thing. That's the hard thing. You need to find someone really charismatic.
Who's that guy who was like the kiss of death for like any like product? Like he was with
Tommy
Stadia
Tallarico.
No, not Tommy Tallarico. I forget. Oh God, who was it? He might have also been named. Was it Phil Harrison? Was his name? Was that it? I'm trying to remember. There was some guy who was associated with Stadia.
Oh yeah, that's Phil Harrison. That's Phil Harrison.
Phil Harrison. Oh yeah, get him.
The bald guy. Yeah, yeah.
And then in 2 years, Xbox declares bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wait, this just in breaking news. We have word from Major Nelson. His new endeavors. He's now part of Netflix Gaming. He's joining Joseph Staten on that new IP they're making. For
You know how
Netflix.
wild that would actually be if he actually joined Netflix Gaming, and how much of a boon that would actually be to that company.
That would be crazy. Actually, they'd all of a sudden have a lot of like flagship staff behind them.
And so no, I'd be scared because they're like, oh shit, they're actually a force to be fucking reckoned with.
Oh shit, Netflix is actually making games now.
Yeah, only thing that would be wild.
Oh fuck.
Only thing that would be wilder is if he joined like Nintendo of America or something.
That would
like
that is
Sony
of He replaces Doug Bowser.
No, he would be the president. He would be like a spokesperson or something.
He fuses with he becomes. He enters a symbiotic relationship with Doug Bowser, like Banjo and Kazooie. He always lives in a backpack on Doug Bowser's
I will never
back.
get over the fact that like in Doug Bowser's like first major like direct that he showed up in, he had Mario like hanging from a noose. I think that like I will never. That's so funny. That that was.
Yeah,
it's really.
I'll never get over. Yeah, I never get over that.
But yeah, I was gonna say rip to a legend. He's not dead.
He's not dead. He's just moving on, dude.
He just left
Rest
Xbox.
In Deuces. Just fucking
ripping pasta, dude.
Rest in pies.
But let's get to the big news. We all know what's coming. Microsoft won against the FTC. They beat the FTC.
This story is over.
We don't have to hear about this anymore.
Let's just read.
I'm sick of this.
Microsoft has been cleared to acquire Activision Blizzard in the United States after winning its court battle with the Federal Trade Commission. On Tuesday, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley of the United States District Court for the Northern District of California denied the FTC's motion for a preliminary injunction. Had it been granted, the injunction would have blocked the $69 billion deal, from being completed until the U.S. regulator's in-house court had a chance to rule on whether the merger hurt competition in the games industry. Jude Corley's ruling concluded, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. That scrutiny has paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox. It made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and it entered several agreements to, for the first time, bring Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. This court's responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if, notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending resolution of the FTC administrative action. For the reasons explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim this particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied. So,
Lots of legalese.
Lots of legalese. They beat the FTC. TLDR, they beat the FTC. The deal has been approved in the United States. The only thing they have left to get through is the CMA.
UK.
The CMA, which they lost that court case, but they are in the appeal process.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have another story going off of this where they got him. They got Jim Ryan, baby. They got PlayStation on the deal. So let's quickly read this. Phil Spencer has announced that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. While little is known about the terms of the agreement or how long it will last, it puts to bed one of the biggest hurdles in Microsoft's prolonged acquisition of the Call of Duty publisher. Microsoft President Brad Smith said, "From day one of this acquisition, we've been committed to addressing the concerns of regulators, platform and game developers, and consumers. Even after we cross the finish line for this deal's approval, we will remain focused on ensuring that Call of Duty remains available on more platforms and for more consumers than ever before." Although several Microsoft figures testified that the idea of making Call of Duty exclusive was never on the table, it remained a sticking point for the PlayStation maker. And then the actual tweet from Phil Spencer reads, "We are pleased to announce that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. We look forward to a future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games."
Yeah.
So, they beat the FTC. It's approved in the US. They finally got Sony on it. All they got left is the CMA. They're in the appeal process. Who knows how long that's going to take? So this is happening, right?
I have some. It's happening. I'm just wondering how they're going to beat the CMA. I don't think they're going to beat them entirely because there's a couple reasons as to why. They're harder. They're going to be harder to deal with than the FTC. Like they're notoriously more difficult. So and I was talking about it with another friend, and I actually think that it actually might be more likely because remember, Activision is a huge, massive conglomerate. They're huge. And there's several divisions. There's like the American division, there's like the UK division, there's like the European division. Like there's several divisions. I would not be shocked that if the big issue that they have that the CMA that the European board has is because of the of the fact that it's not just the US side, it's like all of it. So I would not be shocked if like a deal's in place that like they don't get all of Activision, but they get basically the stuff that they want, and then the rest of Activision like becomes its like its own separate company, like its own like separate branch. Like, which that can be done. That's happened before with other companies and other acquisitions. I'm gonna use the Disney Fox example, like when Disney bought Fox. Fox still kind of exists because they didn't get Fox News, which was also under 20th Century Fox. That was its own separate corporation. That stayed out of the deal because if they had gotten Fox News, that would have been that wouldn't go through the FTC. That wouldn't have gone through. So they bought the company, but they like bought portions of the company, and I think that's what's going to happen with honestly, that's what's going to happen with Activision. I think that feels more likely at this point, but it's going to be it's basically they're getting the important one, which is they want Call of Duty. They want the American division specifically. That's the main one. So in the end, Microsoft gets what they fucking wanted, but they don't get all. They're probably not going to get all of Activision.
And keep in mind, if that does happen and they only get portions of Activision Blizzard, remember King is still involved in that, and they want two things. They want Call of Duty. And they want King because they want the mobile market. So they will 100% take Activision and King. And if they have to give something up, Blizzard will probably be left to fall to the wayside.
Yeah, Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard would let to be fall to the wayside, and Blizzard can probably survive on its own. It'll be fine.
Can they though?
Can they though? I mean, maybe. Diablo 4 is selling like fucking hotcake, so I guess it ultimately doesn't. People will constantly say I'm not buying shit from Blizzard, and then they'll buy them anyways. So I guess it literally doesn't matter. People have no morals, I guess.
Nope, none.
But I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. I think they're just going to kind of split up the company, which
I
happens
believe
in most acquisitions.
I believe there's an update here. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up. The UK's competition watchdog has paused legal proceedings with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard with a view to reaching a new agreement over the game company's proposed merger. So they basically put the deal on hold in the UK and they're renegotiating. So
probably what I'm thinking. So probably exactly what I predicted. They're going to split shit up and they're only going to get portions.
The way if that does happen, the only way I see this going is that they don't get Blizzard. This whole thing has been based around.
They don't care about Overwatch or Diablo. They don't give a shit. They want Call of Duty and King. That's what they want.
This whole thing has been based around Call of Duty. They need that. They want that. And King because of the mobile market. That's going to make them fucking bank. There's no way that they aren't getting those two.
They want Candy Crush.
Yes, they want Candy Crush. They legitimately want Candy Crush. Fucking, you know what? If the deal goes through and they do get King along with Activision, put Master Chief in Candy Crush. I don't care. I'll play Candy Crush at that point.
Candy Crush, Master Chief, Candy Crush. My mom is gonna wonder who the fuck Master Chief is.
Who is this man in the green armor?
Put him in Smash Brothers first,
and then tie it into Candy Crush.
Yeah, Candy Crush and Smash.
If you get to a certain level in Candy Crush, you unlock you get Master Chief for free in Smash without having to buy his DLC.
That would imagine that. What timeline would we?
That's fever dream shit happening at that point.
That's dystopian timeline though. That's what the fuck is this?
That's we need to cleanse the timeline at that point.
We need to bring the TVA in here. Just get them to fucking prune it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, man. After so long, it's only been a year and a half, but this has felt like 20 years going back and forth on the shit every week.
On and on.
But it looks like we are finally at the finish line. So we'll have to see how the talks with the CMA go. We'll have to see how those negotiations fare out. But I have a feeling this is going to be wrapping up fairly soon.
Next couple months.
By
the end of the year. By the end of the year,
end of the year.
If it's not by the end of the year, then what the fuck is happening? And why? What is happening?
And why are we here? Just to suffer.
They announced at the Game Awards that Microsoft has bought Jeff Keighley.
Then you can put Jeff Keighley in Smash.
They played us like a damn fiddle.
But anyway, with that said, that was our last news story. Like I said, an old friend returning once again.
Yeah.
But with that said, hopefully that's the last time we have to talk about Activision Blizzard until the deal is actually finalized
That's going to be a couple months. So we'll have to wait.
But with that said, we can wrap things up here. Guys, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Bearded Banter. As always, make sure you subscribe to us right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Bearded Gaming Network, or at Bearded1BGN on YouTube. Subscribe, physically assault the notification bell, buy it for $69 billion, and it will notify you of when we upload, so you're the first to see new videos like this as they go live. Also, go follow us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Bearded Gaming Network, where we stream every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As of this week, we are continuing the year of Sonic. We are finishing Sonic Adventure 2 and starting Sonic Advance. So that's going to be a fun week.
That's the real shit right there.
That's good shit.
We're finally there. We finally
we're out of hell. He dropped Sonic Shuffle. That's all he has to say about that.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
He got to the second board and was like...
I got to the second board, I lost twice in a row, and I'm like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. No, thank you.
Coward.
Listen, man, okay, I'm allowed to be a coward sometimes.
Don't worry. I don't think he'll drop another game until he gets the Sonic Free Riders. Which he's
you got to do the 2-player mode with Bones.
Oh god, I don't know if I can pay her enough.
Don't worry, I'll do it. I'll come over to your place and I'll do it.
You know what, Matt? come on over. Let's do it.
I'll do it.
Let's do this together.
Let's try to make the game work.
Yeah, that's going to be a hoot and holler.
Oh, boy.
And you can see all of those antics over there on Twitch, so follow us over there. And finally, follow us over on Twitter at Beard Gaming. And I'm not really on social media anymore for my own mental health, but once in a blue moon, I post over there. And when I do, I post the latest updates on BGN, as well as my dumb opinions on movies, video games, anime, manga, comics, a whole bunch of other shit, or just stupid dumb memes. Since I got off social media, anything I've actually posted has basically just been a dumb meme. And I think my mental health is thanking me right now.
Oh yeah, don't stop doom scrolling. It's for your own mental health. It's not.
With me, as always, I have my two lovely co-hosts, Matt and Ryan. You can find Ryan over on Twitter at the NCS Master, where he posts a whole bunch of shitpost memes about all things video games, entertainment, and also, there's been developments since the last time we've done this podcast. You can go subscribe to him over on YouTube, youtube.com/the NCS Master, where my boy is making content now.
Yeah, and it's been fun. I've been having fun with it. It takes time. It takes so much time to edit these damn things. But
welcome to content creation, my friend.
Editing. I love editing.
It's such a good feeling, though, when you get it all come together and you upload it. It's like, yeah, I made something here.
Yeah, I'm making art.
I did it.
But you can go subscribe to him over there, and you can see very thoughtful and well put together discussion videos on various topics in the gaming industry. Like he said, he has a video coming out about
Final Fantasy, like
Final Fantasy 16.
Final
That's
Fantasy.
correct.
And some Discord. I'm hoping to have that out by the end of. I want to try to get that out by the end of the week. I want to I want to get this done sometime during this week. Have it all recorded. I just need to do most of the editing, cut the audio together and get all the assets and pair it all together. Is what I need to do.
But go subscribe to him for all of that good stuff. Also with me, I have Matt Legion Rex. You can find him on Twitter at Legion Rex, where he posts everything about movies, about entertainment, TV, video games, anime, anything you could think of entertainment-wise. Film reviews from his own personal blog. Go follow him over there.
By the way, which I've stopped because in solidarity with the actors and writers, I will not be doing any published reviews for movies until the strike is over. Okay. You can go to, if you want to find reviews of stuff, they will be on my I will still be posting on my Letterboxd, because that is a personal account. But any actual published material is stopping until the strike is resolved, because I'm
reviewing video games instead.
I'm going to be reviewing strictly anime now. I'm going to become twice as annoying.
He's going to become insufferable. Also go subscribe to him on YouTube, youtube.com/Legion Rex, where he might post. Who knows? I mean, Ryan eventually did, so why not Matt?
Yeah, I have some ideas for shit. Now that I have time for stuff, I actually might go through with a project I've been trying to get off the ground for a year. So,
and also go follow him over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Legion Rex, where last time we tuned in with him, he was going through Legend Mode in Yakuza 0. He may continue that at some point soon.
I will be doing it. There will be a new stream sometime in the next couple weeks.
So tune in for all of that good stuff.
We'll have to. If we do it, we'll be going through one of the more difficult sections of the game. We'll have to do fucking the. We'll have to get through. Well, I know in a couple scenes we'll have to do the whole bit in the car chase scene on Legend.
Oh god.
And that's that's difficult because the only time you get, because that whenever when you're going through that section, you only get to save once, and it's the start of the chapter, and you have to basically play the entire chapter without dying once, and it's a hard chapter.
So basically, get good, scrub.
Oh no, trust me, Legend has humbled me. I am not the same man that I once was.
You have changed.
I have changed, but now it has forced me to get good. I'm now good at Yakuza, so
excellent.
I like to think I can beat Mr. Shakedown without getting hit. So
you basically can attack and dethrone God, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I will kill God, is what I'm trying to say.
And you can kill God too. It really does, and you can kill God too next time on Beer Banter when we see you guys in a couple weeks for more video game shenanigans. So until then, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you all for watching. We are signing out. Hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Keep on gaming, everyone.
Bye.
I haven't changed it yet, you know, right?
Oh shit.